You're listening to the OMG Hour.
Welcome, everybody. It is episode number 368 of the OMG Hour. It is May 15th, 2020, and we are all still quarantined, and I am Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane.
I'm Tico, Mr. Second Place. Not everybody's quarantined. They have opened some stuff back up.
Not in Ontario. They stopped it.
Yeah.
They stopped it.
The phase one thing happened the other day.
No, it didn't. It's been postponed to June 1st.
When?
The other day.
No, I just read stuff this morning. I have seen nothing of that.
Phase 1 was supposed to start this coming Monday.
Yeah.
It has been postponed another 2 weeks.
But there's stuff opening up now.
Nope.
There's stuff.
Nope.
There's pet groomers that are taking clients now. They're allowed. They're part of the list.
You still can't get your hair cut.
No, I cannot. Even if I go, I could go to a pet groomer maybe.
That might work.
That might work. I'm buzzing my head today. I have gotten to the point. So
you're gonna actually shave. You're gonna do a Sean?
Not that. Like short.
Come on, let's do the whole. Come on, do it.
See, here's the problem.
Do the pool cue thing.
Listen, here's the problem. I am concerned at my advanced age that if I do that, there's no coming back from it. So that's my worry, is that I do that and it just goes, oh well, this is what we're doing now. This is easier, and it just doesn't come back. So I'm going to buzz it short, but not, I don't want to, blind pilots as they fly by or anything like that.
That's fun. It's fun.
So no,
let's see how bad it is, Tika. You want to show?
Right.
Let's see how bad you are desperately going to shave your own hair.
This is why. So I went to leave the house. I took my shower this morning. I went to go out and I walked past a mirror, and my hair, because of how it's currently positioned and I'd combed it over, it looks like a Mo haircut at that point. I'm like, well, no, this has to go. So I'll show you what it looks like.
What? Oh, he's putting it up in a faux hawk. You're putting it up in a big faux hawk.
Yeah, that's how I've been doing it. And that's the problem. Is like the sides. I shaved the sides at one point, and now this. So
you're acting like this is a problem. Just brush it.
No, brushing hair.
Who does that? Nobody brushes their hair anymore.
No, the problem is it's I can brush it, but then the problem is because I of the way it sits on my head, I can brush it, but it looks like a wig because of the top half.
It's your
like
toupee.
So much. It's like you're like I've moved it all around up top, and it's just sort of sitting on top of my head. So
do you know your camera is doing weird things? It keeps zooming in and out. I've never seen this happen on your camera before. It just zoomed in again, and earlier it zoomed out. So weird.
I have turned off there's the auto. All the auto stuff is
there.
Off.
It just did it again. It just zoomed out again. That's bizarre.
Why is it doing that? All the autos are all clicked off. Focus everything auto off.
I don't know why it's. I've never seen a camera auto zoom like that. But anyway, that's not what we're here for.
Is it? I thought it was just the camera talk and my hair, and
this
then we were done the show.
The camera talk hour. We're going to talk cameras for an hour. No, what we are going to talk about is some really cool gaming stuff was announced this week. But before we get to the very, very cool stuff, of course, we know that E3 has been canceled. We mentioned that.
Yes.
I don't know how long ago now, but Ubisoft has announced a show called Ubisoft Forward that's going to happen in July, and that's sort of in place of their E3 stuff. The disappointing thing for me personally is that it's July, and I'm like,
yeah, because it's usually June.
It's usually June, right? And I was really hoping everybody would still do a June showcase in replace of E3.
Right? Well, the nice thing that we're going to see with all of these individually presented showcases is they're allotted hour and a half. These will probably be larger scale because they have their own day. They don't have to worry about
it's on their own time.
Somebody else's time.
Yep. So things were obviously I think we're going to see more of Valhalla, maybe some more actual gameplay showing you here's it actually running on either a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. I think we're going to see more about Watch Dogs Legion. which you haven't heard from in a while. What else is there's the new Rainbow Six Quarantine.
Yeah,
which is aptly named, I must say.
Yeah, and I think they will probably touch on some of their competitive Rainbow Six stuff that they're doing as well.
Other things I would like to see. I want to see them give us what's going on with Beyond Good and Evil. What's going on with Skull and Bones? You know. Yeah.
I've seen some rumors out there that they are expected to announce another AAA title.
Yes, I read that, and I don't know what that title is.
Well, there's speculation. New Far Cry, Splinter Cell finally, coming back.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Well, you're a huge stealth fan, so I know that you'd be really excited about a new Splinter Cell.
I would rather hear about another Splinter Cell than another Far Cry, if I'm being honest.
I'm good with either. I really enjoyed both games.
I do, but I feel like it's too soon for another Far Cry. I don't know. It's like I feel like we just had Far Cry.
I don't think it's too soon, but it has been far too long since we've seen a Splinter Cell.
Agreed, absolutely.
So that's my thing there. It's been far too long since it's been 3 Far Cries since we've seen a Splinter Cell. So
yeah, exactly. I mean,
so give us a Splinter Cell.
And we would like that. They've been teasing us with Sam Fisher in other games.
Yeah,
like you don't start teasing a character out in other games like Ghost Recon if you don't have something on the go. You know what I mean?
You've got that asset you're building. There's well, where else can we throw this thing in? So yeah, let's see what we can do with that. I think we're far too soon to see any more Ghost Recon or Division stuff getting announced.
Well, the Division stuff is weekly. I mean, they are doing a weekly sort of state of the game. For Division, so that's kind of always out there. Every week they do a video saying here's what's coming in the test servers, here's what to expect in Division. So that's not new news, like for them, you know. So
no.
And I think they've already done the same. They've already done their big updates for Ghost Recon. This has got to be more about what's coming, not about what's already out.
Yeah,
you know, what can we expect in the next 6 months to a year, I guess. So that's exciting. While on the topic of Ubisoft and, of course, Assassin's Creed, one of the big articles I thought was interesting this week was saying that Assassin's Creed Valhalla is actually bringing back the Instakill hidden blade, which, if I'm being honest, even as an Assassin's Creed fan, I didn't really question the whole change to the hidden blade, how it was no longer an instant kill. Like, it was no longer to the point where you could walk through a crowd, just, you know, kill someone in the back and walk away, right? And it would be insta-kill. And I get it. I mean, that was a staple of Assassin's Creed for years. That's what the hidden blade was for. But once you hit Origins and Odyssey, and it became more of one of your weapons as opposed to the weapon, I didn't really question the fact that it had sort of a DPS value. You know what I mean? Or a damage value. But I'm happy that they're putting things back into Valhalla that have been missing from Assassin's Creed, such as blending in. You know, the whole blending in with a crowd, which was a big staple of Assassin's Creed. And that's where the insta-kill blade came in, is you would blend in with a crowd, walk past your adversary, just go chink, and keep going.
And just, poke, and then just keep walking, and the guy would fall down and be like, oh, that guy's dead, and nobody knows who done it.
Exactly. So I'm happy that piece of Assassin's Creed is coming back. So I feel like they've taken Valhalla, and they've looked at all of the past games, and they've looked at what they've done with Origins and Odyssey, and like, how can we kind of bring it back around to what Assassin's Creed was? And I think the better reason for this, to be honest, is the closer we get to the original game in the timeline, the more that makes sense.
We should, right? You should be getting more into the maneuvers that you're used to.
Right, because this game is now the close... we had Origins, we had Odyssey, and now... In fact, Odyssey took place before Origins, did it not? Or is it the other way around?
Origins is the first one.
I'm pretty sure Odyssey... Odyssey is before Origins. Odyssey,
is it?
400 years before. So now with Valhalla taking place much later, but still before 1100 AD, which is when the original Assassin's Creed took place. It makes sense that we are getting closer to sort of the gameplay values of the original series.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Anyway, that's all of that to say the Instakill Hidden Blade is coming back, and that's cool.
And I'm very, very excited about this game.
Absolutely. Did you watch Sony's State of Play this week, where they talked about Ghost of Tsushima?
I watched the Ghost of it's a hard name, Tsushima. I watched that stuff. You say that because I've been saying for 2 years now, the Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah. And then they introduce it today this week in this video, and they're saying Ghost of Tsushima. I'm like, oh, it's Tsushima, not Tsushima. It's a weird name, and it's a very Japanese name. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's extremely Japanese, but yeah. It looks fun. It is absolutely a gorgeous looking game. I pulled down some of the video here, and we can talk about the game itself. And I just, I cannot believe how absolutely gorgeous the game is. But here's the big thing for me. A lot of this is about exploration, which is like, I think since the day this game was announced, I think it was at E3 probably 2 years ago. As soon as I saw this game, I'm like, I am all over this. Do you remember that? Yeah. And I did the same thing for Horizon Zero Dawn, if you remember. As soon as I saw that game announced, I was all over it, and I'm like, this is going to be one of my greatest games ever played. And I was right. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn, to this day, is now in my top favorite IPs ever. I love the characters. I love the main character, Aloy. I love the game itself. I could not get enough of Horizon. And after seeing the gameplay demo actually running on a PS5, I feel the same way about the Ghost of Tsushima. It looks incredible. The biggest thing, however, I took away from this is how much this feels like the modern Assassin's Creeds. It really does. When you go to even the pulling down the map, and it's like there's a little question mark, and that's the area you're going to go to, and just the feel of the character, the horseback riding here, like everything. It looks absolutely stunning for one thing, but it really feels like Assassin's Creed feudal Japan. It really does. And yeah, exactly. I mean, this could be an Assassin's Creed game. Yeah. I mean, even so far as discovering a location or an outpost, and then that outpost actually has goals to clear it. Yeah. That's very much a Ubisoft trope. Yeah, they've done that. So even the stuff here, the collecting things as you're riding past, the resources. Yeah, I did tons of that in Odyssey. Right. Even the little arrows, the little indications when you're driving past an enemy. Yes. And it pops up. It's like, oh, there's an enemy over here. Like that feels so much like Assassin's Creed. Oh yeah, absolutely. And so I'm thinking, okay, I mean, yeah, looks like your typical, I mean, we say Assassin's Creed because that's the most recent thing. It's no different than like a Far Cry. Far Cry does the same thing. You discover different outposts and you have goals to complete that outpost. It's sort of become a Ubisoft gameplay standard. And I find it very interesting that Sucker Punch is adopting that style. A very much like Ubisoft clone. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing because I love this kind of game. This is my kind of game. Wrong. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. So I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching this, and believe me, I was glued to this. It was only an 18-minute video. Like, it's worth looking up, even if you don't plan to play the game, even if you don't get a PS5, whatever. This demo, I think it's worth watching. It's just so incredible. I like how the animals can guide you to hidden things. That was a neat little addition. A bird might fly by or a fox, and if you follow it, it'll actually lead you to a secret area or something to discover. That's a cool little additional thing. I like that.
So anyway, I keep going on sidetracks. I'm so excited for this game, Tico. I'm like, whoa.
And this is
like,
July? Is it July?
This is coming soon. This is July.
Yeah.
If not the end of June. I want to, I'll look it up in a second, or if you don't mind checking out real quick. But as I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, cool. It looks like Assassin's Creed, but maybe the combat is a little different, and they start going into the combat as a samurai. So you can take on what it means to be a samurai, and there's a certain sort of gameplay style to being a samurai, and that's more the whole. It's your straight on fighting, really. Yeah. Right. What I really like about the samurai fighting is it's not like you're not just running straight into battle and fighting everything you can. You're actually standing back, and it's more. I kind of describe it as more of a defensive fighting as opposed to offensive. So you'll see in the video when you watch it, and coming up here shortly on our video, you'll see that when he's challenged by someone, he actually readies his sword, but doesn't do anything until the other one attacks. Right?
Yeah, it's more, blocking and
it's reacting. Parrying. It's parrying and blocking and reacting. Love the slow-mo bits as you're fighting as a samurai. I love how kind of realistic things are. When he's done killing, he actually flicks the blood off the sword before putting it back. The guys will actually stop and kind of, like, they'll just kind of fall to the ground. Like, it's very cinematic. The fighting is extremely cinematic, I found. And very, I don't know, very samurai-like. I really like it. Bows and arrows. I mean, hello. Capture my heart.
Yeah, well, add a bow into anything. Sean's a fan,
and it makes it even better. Exactly. I love the parry and reactive fighting as opposed to just
the hack and slash.
Yeah. Then they got into what really made me fall in love with the game, and that is not just can you play as a samurai, you can play as what's called the Ghost. Of course, you are the Ghost of Tsushima. This is where it is full-on freaking stealth, man.
So this is the ninja.
Yes. I guess you could call it ninja, right? Although, is ninja a different time era than samurai?
No. The ninja started as they were fighting the Empire and they were fighting the samurai. It was they couldn't fight them and beat them head on, so they would use these stealth attacks, and so that's where the ninja came from. The ninja were farmers using implements and stuff like that.
But were they samurai? Were they samurai?
No, they were like villagers and stuff like that who were fighting against the samurai.
Against samurai,
and some of the samurai, of course, did turn and join the villagers in their fight. So I'm sure there were some samurai who also became ninjas. But
ninjas and samurais were adversaries. Is
yes.
that what you're saying? Historically,
yes.
I've never actually looked that up, but that's interesting. But yes, this is. But again, now we're really getting into this. Feels like Assassin's Creed full on, like like the word assassinate. You know, you can jump down on top of someone and just assassinate them. You can do a chain assassination. I mean, where have you seen this before? This is Assassin's Creed, and I'm okay with that. It's so awesome. I cannot wait to play this game.
July 17th, by the way. I looked that up.
So it is still July. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
But that's 2 months. 2 months from 2 days from now.
Yeah. Oh, I cannot wait to play this game. I really feel like this is going to be my Horizon Zero Dawn this year.
Yeah, and particularly since this has such that feeling of Assassin's Creed. I'll be honest with you, I'm probably going to end up playing this for 50 hours while I'm waiting for some good stuff to come out too.
Right. The really cool thing about being a ghost is because you're a ghost and killing things without anyone seeing. Some of the Ronin the Mongols. Ronin are samurais. The Mongols who you're fighting against are actually afraid of you. So when you appear to them suddenly in the middle of their camp, they might actually like run away or back up and not actually fight you because they're actually afraid of you as the ghost, that's a really cool, neat mechanism. I like that.
The Batman.
Yes, exactly.
Mechanic, the Batman fear mechanic.
Dude, I could probably go on for another hour about this game. Now,
Yeah.
because I'm a PS4 player and I'm excited about this, but you're saying even as an Xbox player,
Even as an Xbox player, like it's one of those transcendent games where I have a PS4, so like I don't normally play it.
Right.
I really don't. Like I have some games on it. There are some fantastic games, but I, for the most part, will play games where I can get my achievements and stuff like that. But there are a few games that are sort of transcended of console, and it doesn't
like
matter.
Spider-Man, for example. You played Spider-Man, I believe, right?
I played Spider-Man,
God of War,
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Right.
What is it? Days Gone By, the zombie biker one.
Right. Yep.
Like there's a few that like you sort of this step out. You go like, I gotta play this anyways.
Right. I am so stoked for this. If you haven't watched it, go just look up, Sony State of Play, Ghost of Tsushima. Oh my gosh.
It looks very nice. It looks very pretty. Gameplay looks solid and engaging.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah.
I am still waiting to hear if Sony's going to do any kind of forward compatibility thing, like what's Microsoft calling it? Smart delivery.
Smart delivery system. Yeah, that's right.
I really hope they do, because I guarantee you Ghost of Tsushima they've got to have like the PS5 version of it planned.
Yeah.
Like, and it's got, that game is so beautiful, the visuals, that it's got to be even better on a PS5.
Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine PS5 graphics on that.
Well, you don't have to imagine any further, my friend.
I don't, Sean.
Because this week, Epic did another, I think it was like 9 minutes long. It, again, wasn't long, but they had the next generation Unreal Engine, which is Unreal Engine 5. They announced it this week, showing off a demo for Unreal Engine 5 running on a PS5, not on test hardware, on an actual PS5. This is running in real time, an actual demo game. That this is what they do. This is how Unreal Engine, for those of you who've never downloaded or checked it out, Unreal always provides a sample game that you can basically unpack, look at, see how they made it, look at the assets in it, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
This is that demo game for Unreal Engine 5. Things that are coming to the PlayStation 5 and ultimately Xbox Series X, although neither Microsoft nor Epic have said whether or not this demo will run on Series X. I guarantee you that's simply because we haven't done it yet. There's no way they're going to do this on PS5 and not Xbox. All of these cool things they're doing, right?
They're gonna run their own separate demo that they'll show off at some point. Maybe even I know Microsoft does have that thing coming up for their first party stuff. Maybe they'll show off that at that point. Who knows?
Yeah. So many things announced in this, and I don't know how much you did you watch this, by the way?
I watched the beginning of this, and I was absolutely blown away with the clarity and the realism of what they're showing.
It looks like a movie.
Yeah,
it looks like a movie set.
Yeah, it really does. It feels like this feels exactly like that. It feels like you're watching the new Tomb Raider movie, clips from the new Tomb Raider movie. Right.
It feels very. This demo feels like a Tomb Raider demo. But here's some of the Unreal Engine 5 features, which I think are absolutely unbelievably fantastic. So Unreal Engine 5 features it's a technology they're calling nanite. Nanite is virtualized micro polygon geometry. So you remember back in the day when polygons became the big thing in gaming, right? Right around the time of like Virtua Fighter. Remember all that stuff where everything looked very triangular, and that was the beginning of using polygons, geometric shapes essentially, to build your characters in gaming. And since then it has only gotten better and better. But Nanite now has virtualized micro polygon geometry, frees the artists, get this, to create as much geometric detail as the eye can see. Nanite virtualized geometry means that film quality source art, that's technical right there, source art, that's key, comprising hundreds of millions or billions with a B of polygons can be imported directly into Unreal Engine. Do you know what that means, Tico? That means literally take something like the Iron Man suit from the MCU films.
Yeah.
That means they can take that Iron Man suit that they used in the films and import it directly into a game. So you could be playing as Iron Man literally as you would see him on film. How is that just blow your mind or what?
I'm just this demo blows my mind. The fact that this is, I can't believe this isn't a Tomb Raider game. First of all, but it's just what we're going to be able to have in gaming in the next few years is just unbelievable, and I am very glad to be a part of this.
It reminds me of way back in the day. I asked a simple question, was like, looking at the way games were back in the days of, say, Commodore 64, I'm in grade school here, right?
Yeah.
And I said to myself, do you think we'll ever play a game that looks like a Saturday morning cartoon? I mean, but you got to think about it. Back then, that blew my mind, thinking that games could look that good. I mean, I didn't even imagine games looking like a live action movie.
Yeah.
But that with Nanite, this micro polygons, you can, like, a model with billions of polygons on it can be imported into the game and it will handle it. In the video right now, you're seeing a huge model up there in the center that contains millions or billions of polygons, and it can be duplicated hundreds of times, if not more, in the game without any slowdown.
Yeah,
the other thing that this demo shows off is a technology called Lumen, which is a fully dynamic global illumination solution that immediately reacts to scenes and light changes. The system renders diffuse interreflection with infinite bounces and indirect specular reflections in huge detailed environments, scales ranging from kilometers to millimeters. And what this means is that as light comes into the scene and hits a reflective surface or a surface that reflects in some way, that light will literally bounce at a realistic angle and hit whatever is next and keep bouncing as long as the diffusion means it should bounce.
Yeah.
Right? Which means as light opens up, like it's showing on the video now, into a room, that light fills the room absolutely realistically and naturally. Shadows, reflections, light bouncing, like as light would bounce into a crevice, for example. That'll happen in the game in real time. It's absolutely mind-blowing that this can happen in a game.
Yeah.
And even more mind-blowing in my brain, it's like I can't wait to see this in action. This is running on an actual PS5, Tico. This isn't some supercomputer.
Yeah, this is a gameplay of a game that was made to run on a PS5, and I kind of want them to
want this game.
I would play this as a full game, like.
Oh, I know. Now at the end of the video, which you're seeing now, you see this kind of leads into some of the features of the PS5 that they've been talking about, the really, really fast rendering, and being able to zoom through such detailed environments at a super fast pace because of the speed of the SSD. And that's kind of what this part of the video is showing us. She's literally flying super fast through this decaying old city in extreme detail. And so that's going to be possible. That kind of speed is going to be possible in games for the first time in who knows how long, you know what I mean? Forever, in ever. I can't believe what this is doing. Other things they're bringing to it. It also showcased things that are already in Unreal Engine 4, but probably enhanced maybe. Things like chaos destruction, which is what we saw with things falling and being destroyed and rocks flowing. That's all based on a thing called chaos destruction, where users can achieve cinematic quality visuals in real time in scenes with massive scale levels of destruction. Convolution reverb is for audio. It's a process for digitally simulating the reverberation of a physical or virtual space. And they demoed that in that demo. If you listen to it on your own with audio, you'll hear as rocks are falling, you can actually hear the echo of the rocks around you as they're falling.
Based off of the actual makeup of the room.
Of the room, exactly. So the sound happens over here, but bounces off a wall over here and reverberates through the cavern, right? So that's their... and then they've also got ambisonics, which is a full sphere surround sound format. In addition to the horizontal plane, it covers sound sources above and below the listener. So full 360-degree spherical audio. And of course, along with that, they've already announced the PS4 will be able to handle directive audio. So you'll hear things like behind and around a corner type thing.
Yeah.
And the audio will be diffused by whatever is between you and the sound. Tico,
I'm excited about gaming, Sean.
We are in for a treat with this next generation.
And you, like me, we are both of an age where we started with, like, my first gaming machine was Pong. Like, I'm just a machine that played Pong.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a white dot and 2 white lines, and that's what I started with.
Hey, I started with gaming where it was like, you typed, go east.
Yeah.
And then you read what happens, you know?
Like, this is what we started with to what we are at, and the fact that we have been a part of this entire journey in gaming
incredible.
Is absolutely amazing, and I'm very glad to be a part of that. I've got kids right now who are huge into gaming. Like, Leah's asking me to go and buy her more video games. Like, she's playing video games on a regular basis, and I'm absolutely astonished with a 9-year-old. She's playing the Lego Worlds game and she's creating stuff, and like I walk in and she's created this whole built this whole house but up in the sky, because I'm like, why is your house floating? She goes, because people kept coming in my house and I didn't want them to, so I built it in the sky.
Nice.
And just stuff like that. But I don't know how to do that in that game. I don't know how to float a house, but she's figured out all these things at this age, and I'm so glad that she's going to be able to see these things as they grow and as they go through. She's a gamer too, and I'm glad to be able to share that experience with my kid.
I mean, the best I can share at the moment is like Animal Crossing, because all my girls play Animal Crossing, but it's still a fun experience.
Yeah,
you know?
But that's the thing. It's Lego games with Leah right now. She is like huge into Lego games.
Yeah. Oh, and Aria loves the Zelda on Switch. She absolutely adores it. Yeah, no, I agree. We're definitely old married gamers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it is such a treat to see what's coming, and I am so excited for this next generation after this Unreal Engine 5 demo. Now, granted, that demo isn't going to be, or that engine isn't available until next year, so it's going to be a year or so until we actually see games using that technology, but that is exciting.
We have some really good stuff to look forward to. Just say that.
As long as we're all still alive.
Well, yeah, we're still hiding in our houses, so we'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
Hey, you know what? All these years talking about gamers, in their basement, and we're the ones surviving. So, we had it right to begin with.
Exactly.
We knew what was going on years ago. All right, so we've got, let's say, 2 minutes to talk about your favorite thing.
All right.
Remasters.
Wow. I don't need 2 minutes. But yeah, remasters. There's been a bunch of remasters announced. Tony Hawk. It's Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remastered, coming out in September.
Did you ever play Tony Hawk games?
I played them. I'm terrible at them.
Did you enjoy them?
No, I'm terrible at them.
Yeah, but you can be terrible at something and still enjoy it.
Oh, but no, I didn't enjoy. You have to have some level of success, I find, in something. You can be terrible at something, but you need some level of success before you get terrible at it. Like, maybe I can't get past the 3rd level, but I really enjoyed, the process of getting to the first 2. But I can't pull off the simplest trick.
Yeah.
In these ones.
No, I tried a couple of Tony Hawk games. I don't remember which ones, but no, it wasn't a thing for me. I never enjoyed it. I also never really understood it, as a game.
Well, I didn't skateboard as a kid either, so none of it brought me back to when I play basketball or baseball on the consoles. It's I played those sports, so I
skateboard did. Skateboarded.
Skateboarded.
I was not a trickster skateboard. I still have my skateboard from when I was a teenager.
I owned a skateboard. We did stupid crap like hang onto the back of a truck and drive around and then let go and go flying off.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I'm not dead, to be honest with you. But the Tony Hawk announcement, it's just more remasters. So more companies are doing these remasters. The Lucas Arts films, Grim Fandango, Day of the Tentacle, those are all coming to consoles soon.
Haven't they already?
No. Remastered editions are coming to consoles. They've been out on PC.
Oh, okay. I thought they were already on console.
No, Day of the Tentacle is one of my favorites of those point-and-click adventures. I know you're not a big point-and-click guy, but
I know you like the point-and-click stuff.
So those are fun. The Mafia trilogy was announced, or is going. Sorry, the Mafia trilogy. It will be announced on the 19th. It's leaked so far.
Well, I thought it was just Mafia 1 and 2.
Well, it's a Mafia trilogy. It's Mafia 1, 2, and 3. I believe when you buy the trilogy, you get all three of them in definitive editions, but there is already a definitive edition of number 3 out. And it's the weirdest thing. So there's already number 3 out in definitive edition.
Right.
On the 19th, when they make the announcement, they're saying that the Mafia 2 definitive edition will be released on that day.
Okay.
And then the Mafia 1 definitive edition is coming out in August.
Okay. So, but can you buy it as a trilogy, or do you have to buy them all separately?
I don't know. We'll know that in 4 days.
All right.
But I just played through number 3 as part of my quarantine. I'm bored. I'm going to play something time. So I just went through number 3, the entire game fully. So I am looking forward to this because they are fully remastered with the new engine. So I'm looking forward to actually playing through number 2 again.
I enjoyed number 2. I never played 3, and I never played 1.
Well, now you'll have an opportunity.
Mafia 2 was actually one of the first games I reviewed when I first started Lasting First Impressions back in 2011.
What did it get, Sean?
What do you mean, what did it get? I didn't rate games, Tico. You know that.
No, but what was your first impression?
Oh, I loved it.
And did it last?
Yes. Oh, yeah, I played that game a lot. It was a great game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I do want to see that. I want to play that again on the next gen. And then Alan Wake was just their 10th anniversary.
Not a fan. Not a fan of Alan Wake.
Well, that's Remedy. They're the ones that did Control, which I know you also ran into some trouble with.
I don't know what it is about Remedy games, man. They look so great. They have great stories. I just can't play them.
I really enjoyed Alan Wake. I played it all the way through on the 360 back in the day. Great horror story. Really, really fun. Really enjoyed that story. It is coming out on Game Pass on the Xbox and the Xbox for PC.
Was Quantum Dream also a Remedy game?
Quantum Break.
Quantum Break?
Yes.
That was a Remedy game?
Yeah.
Again, that was a game I enjoyed but never finished. And it's the same kind of thing where
you hit a spot of difficulty that it's like, I don't know what to do next.
Yeah.
Get past it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do have those in some games. I know the spot you're stuck in. I did get past that point, but I'm stuck with that game with the mapping system and Control. Okay. I don't know if this is a remastered game or not, Alan Wake, but it is coming out. I don't know if it's the 360 version that's joining Game Pass, but it is coming out on the PC as well. So I'm not sure exactly how it's being released, but that is on the 21st on Game Pass on both the Xbox and PC Game Pass. So I'm not sure if they've actually remastered the game at all for this, or if it's up-resed or anything. But it is being launched to Game Pass. Has that been 2 minutes yet? Did I take my two minutes?
You took 5, but that's okay.
Whew. Sorry.
I know. Time goes fast when you're talking what you love. I probably talked for 30 minutes about Assassin's Creed and Ghost of Tsushima, so...
Well,
let's move on to television and movies. In fact, I think it's all television stuff this week. But I want to talk real quick about a couple of shows that I think both of us have been watching. I got really good comments from people on my social media about a show called Tales from the Loop. And this was in response to everyone who loved Upload, which you and I both loved. And so people were like, man, Upload was great. You should check out Tales of the Loop. And so I checked out Tales from the Loop, Tales from the Loop is a sci-fi drama, but not in the way of like a Star Trek. I describe this as sort of a... I want to say... at first, I was going to say it's sort of like a Eureka, but
I mean,
in a drama.
I think when I mentioned it, I said like Fringe felt very familiar to this. To
right,
me.
but here's the big thing about Tales from the Loop. Tales from the Loop takes place in the late 70s, early 80s. And it's Tales from... it's called Tales from the Loop because all the stories take place in this town, in Ohio, I believe it's supposed to be, where underground Ohio is the loop, where scientific experiments happen. But the story's not about the loop. It's about seeing things that happen in the town to normal people. The science fiction elements, the science fiction-y parts are just very almost... I'm going to call them sort of realistic, 80s style sci-fi, but it's not about the sci-fi. It's about the effects and the stories of the people around like a simple little mishap of some kind, or a device that somebody finds, or stuff like that. Like, it's not about the sci-fi itself, which I really enjoyed. You know, it really is a drama. It's a very slow-moving drama. There's no action. It's literally stories about people, right? And how those people are affected by something science fiction-y. I don't know if I can describe it very well without giving... I don't want to give away any plot points. And there's what I love about it, too, is there's 8 episodes, and anything that happens in one episode follows through to all the rest. So it's a very permanent thing. Like, every story has a permanent result. And I'm going to tell you right now, none of these stories are written to have happy endings. I'm not saying they're terrible endings, but they're very realistic in that it's not just tie things up in a bow at the end. Yeah. Right? It's this happens to this person, and this is the end result. Does that make sense? I don't know if
I've only seen the first episode of this so far, so I'm not sure how everything ties into the future episodes. But yeah, it has a very dystopian feel to it.
Yes, yeah, very much.
Like, it is not your happy ending and your everybody goes along their way and is smiling and everything like that. Like, the consequences are far-reaching, and yeah,
absolutely, and it flows right through even to the final episode. The final episode is dealing with stuff that happens in, like, I don't know, like episode 2 or 3 or something, and it's just like how everything just comes together. Everything's told in a very chronological way. So, for example, like episode 8, like, actually can't happen until all of the events of all the other episodes happen, even though they're not really kind of related to, I don't know how to put it. Each episode deals with a different character too in the town. It's not the same characters all the time. Yeah. Right. So there may be a sort of off to the side character in episode 1 that then becomes the main character of episode 2, which shows sort of a secondary, or tertiary character in episode 2. And that tertiary character becomes the spotlight in episode 3. So you're seeing these people in the town, and sometime during the 8 episodes, there might be a story about that person.
Yeah. I'm going to watch more of this. It sounds interesting.
It is so good. It's very, very intriguing. I watch 2 episodes a day, so I was done, I started Monday and I was done yesterday. It was so good. I really, really enjoyed it. And I won't talk too much about it, but I am thoroughly enjoying season 2 of Lego Masters Australia. And I will say that the Australian contestants in season 2 are far superior than the season 1 contestants.
Yeah. It's a very fun show.
I cannot get enough of this show, dude.
Really enjoying it. And I mean, we're watching season 2. I mean, the American season 1 had just finished, so we're on to the Australian season 2, which is currently airing. So we're seeing basically all of the challenges that they're going to do for the US season.
For the US season 2,
probably.
And they're good challenges. Oh my gosh, they had an underwater challenge.
That was so cool.
They had to build a set with its sole purpose is it was going to be dunked into a tank, and it had to survive the dunk. And also build in such a way that the water affects the scene.
Yeah, the elements of the water like so pieces that will float, for example, will flow and stuff like that, like a mermaid's hair flowing in the water.
Yes.
Really, really cool. I'm looking forward to it. I think we're down to 2 episodes left.
2 episodes left. The finals are coming up Sunday and Monday.
Yeah.
Anyway,
really fun.
Great show. I cannot wait till like the US season 2, and I have no idea when that's going to happen. There's going to be a void when season 2 of Australia one.
We're going to see a void in a lot of shows coming up with all of this production delays now.
Oh, absolutely.
Like we just saw announced. I know it's jumping in the order of our thing, but the Arrowverse on CW announced their basically their lineup for their fall lineup and when their stuff is coming back.
I didn't see the actual. I know the lineup is including Lois or Superman and Lois, but did they say
January
when it's
of 2021?
January? All of the shows?
All of basically everything that is coming back. So Black Lightning, Flash, Legend, all of the stuff that's coming back will be January of 2021 is when we are expecting to see them again.
Well, that makes sense because these seasons aren't going to end until they can get back and film the final episodes.
Well, some of them, like The Flash, the episode that we just recently saw in The Flash, that was their season finale.
No, I believe there's one coming left. There's one left coming up, I think.
I don't think that they are airing that as part of this season. I think that they ended because of they were.
Oh, I know. That they're not ending the season per se, but the season isn't ending because they never filmed the final episodes.
Right, but I think that they are ending the season on the last episode we saw. I saw a review of the episode saying Flash season finale ended fine, or whatever.
That wasn't an ending.
It was how they have to end their thing because I think the next episode is too much of a cliffhanger episode wise.
I know, but all I'm saying is this last episode wasn't an ending of any kind.
Well, they had some resolutions.
No, they didn't. It was a cliffhanger ending.
But it could be a season cliffhanger ending as opposed to leaving us how Walking Dead did with that downturn episode before the,
True. So you're saying that the whole thing that happened right at the very end with Iris is the cliffhanger?
Yes, for next season.
Oh, man. That's
cruel.
Yeah,
so we are going to now see these not until 2021.
Okay. So let's jump through these things. The X-Men spin-off, The New Mutants, finally got another release date.
What do you mean finally got another release date? You say it like it hasn't gotten 4 million release dates already. You can't say finally got another.
It got another freaking release date. Now get this, Tico. They're going to release it to the theaters in August. Let me ask you a question. Are you going to the theaters in August to see a movie?
I'll be entirely honest with you, Sean. I don't know when the next time I plan on going to the theaters is going to be.
Period.
The whole environment of going to the theaters is because you're able to go and immerse yourself in that experience. And I think that 6 months from now, a year from now, it's going to be a changed experience from what we're used to. And you're not going to be able to walk into a theater and sit, 4 feet apart from somebody else and 3 rows apart from somebody else and, everybody wearing masks and be able to have that theater experience that we are used to. It is going to be a new experience. And I don't think that experience is going to be that much better than the experience I would have watching that on my own TV.
I hear you. And I think I cannot believe that they've scheduled this for August. I think this is just another nail in the New Mutants coffin.
Yeah,
I feel like this is a corporate decision by Disney to say, let's appease the theater and make it look like we tried and then just release it video on demand.
I think this is more because I don't think Disney really cares to kowtow to the theaters. I think this is a situation where the theaters went to Disney and say, pretty please, we're in a really rough spot. We're going to die. We need somebody to help support and back us up here. Can you give us something?
Can you give us the New Mutants?
Can you give us something to show that Disney is supporting the theater system?
And it's going to fail in the theaters in August.
It's not going to do well, and it's going to be in theaters for 2 weeks, and then it's going to get pulled, and then a week later we're going to have the video on demand version of it out, and that's what it's going to be, and people will watch it on video on demand because they're comfortable doing that in their houses.
Exactly.
This is an on your couch movie to begin with, let alone You know, like right now, like the only movies that I think anybody would consider, like, you know, a new Star Wars, new Marvel. I can't see people, you know, going out to see anything else really. Like,
But even now,
I say, when I say people, I mean there's idiots all over the place who are just, you know, like, local bars open, let's get 400 people into that place and go, because they just want to get out of their house. Like, I get it. There's people who want to do that, and there's people who will go to the theaters. There are people who go to the theaters and see crappy movies just for the sake of going to the theaters to see a crappy movie. I get it. People want to be outside, and they may do well because people just want to get out and do that. That being said, I personally don't feel comfortable. I don't think that the environment is going to be a calming environment for me to sit in a theater, you know, where you're sitting there watching your movie, eating your popcorn, you know, like 10 feet away from somebody else, and somebody in the back of the theater coughs or something like that, and everybody's on edge.
Right. No, I hear you. Yeah, it's just a mistake. As far it's a death knell to the New Mutants. Another one. I mean, this movie was supposed to be out 2 years ago,
and I'll be honest, I was excited about this movie. I was looking forward to this movie because it took the Marvel New Mutants, who I'm familiar with. You know, I've read those comics. I like the New Mutants. I enjoyed that superhero team. I enjoyed you know, reading their comics and stuff like that. I was looking forward to a new batch of mutants getting on screen and everything like that. So I was excited about that, and the fact that they're taking it and they went to that horror genre with it. They're making a horror movie with a horror superhero movie. I was excited about that. I was looking forward to that, and this, all of this back and forth with getting a release date, getting rewrites, getting refilmed, getting, you know, stuff, everything done to it is just the shine has really come off of this. At this point, I'm like, okay, like whenever it comes out, I'll watch it because I'm interested in it still, but I don't care.
Right.
I don't care when it comes out. If it comes out, then great, I'll watch it. If it doesn't come out, then I'm going to survive without it.
Here's a question before we move on, 'cause we've got too many other things to talk about.
All right.
This is a Disney property now, but
it is,
because it's a horror film. Would you think it'll ever come to Disney Plus?
I don't.
Like, what's the rating on it?
I think it's an M. I think it is a mature.
So which means I don't think it'll ever come to Disney Plus. So where's it going to go? Netflix?
Fox. Yeah, I mean, because we're seeing a lot of stuff on Netflix, like the Deadpool 2 just popped up on Netflix.
That's true. So maybe Netflix will be where they put their R-rated stuff.
Yeah. They still have some deals in place with Netflix and stuff like that. Or we may see Disney Plus.
Disney
18 plus.
Never mind. Okay. Let's move on. While we're still on topic of Disney, The Mandalorian season 2 is ramping up in a lot of marketing. They're prepared to launch that in the fall. Very excited. But they've talked to the Boba Fett, not Boba Fett, actually Jango Fett. I want to say, he played Jango Fett, and it is Temuera Morrison. The actor, Temuera Morrison, has been cast to play adult Boba Fett and also Captain Rex from the Clone Wars, old Captain Rex, which makes sense because both of them are based on the Jango Fett, the clone. So he's apparently, they're going to have both Boba Fett. So Boba Fett is still alive, apparently escaped the Sarlacc pit.
I want that as a standalone episode.
Just it's not about him.
I don't care. I want that as an episode.
It's not about him.
I don't care. I don't care. Then make a separate movie. Give me something. I want an episode where there's like at least a flashback scene where it shows him climbing out.
That's true. Boba Fett and the escape from Sarlacc. And he's also going to play old Captain Rex, who we last saw in Star Wars Rebels, the cartoon. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. We also talked, I believe it was last week, that Rosario Dawson is going to be playing Ahsoka Tano. Yes. So they're bringing. What's awesome is they're grabbing. Well, let me say this thing after the next one. Season 2 also recruits Katee Sackhoff, of course, Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica. She's going to be playing the character she voiced in the Clone Wars, Bo-Katan Kryze. She's going to be playing a live-action version of her in The Mandalorian. We've now got 3 characters directly from the cartoons coming to live action, and that's freaking cool.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be amazing if they did a live-action Clone Wars season?
No,
I don't know. I don't know.
Think so.
I need to know where to start with the Clone Wars because I haven't watched any of it.
Right yet. At the beginning.
So season 1.
Watch the movie.
Okay.
And then start with season 1.
The Clone Wars.
There's a Clone Wars movie, 90 minutes.
Animated
movie. And then there's the 7 seasons.
Okay.
And then after you're done the 7 seasons of Clone Wars, watch Rebels.
Okay.
It's a fantastic story.
All right.
It really
I will watch that tomorrow.
All of it. I want it done in one day.
I could probably do that.
No. I don't think so. There's more than 24 hours worth of material there.
Yeah, I know, but I have it on 3 screens at once. So
perfect. Just
season 1, season 2, and season 3 going at the same time
simultaneously.
Yeah,
no confusion whatsoever.
I can take all that in.
Let's talk about. You brought up the CW earlier with the Arrowverse, and they were talking about the next crossover. Of course, last year's crossover was huge with Kryze. They said that the next crossover will not be huge. In fact, they're talking about when they do the crossover next year. It'll probably be in the spring. They're looking at possibly only 2 shows, Superman and Batwoman.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know if I'm super excited about that.
I'm actually okay with that. Sort of doing a world's finest.
I'm okay with that content. I'm not loving Batwoman, although I do love that they've brought Hush into it.
I love Batwoman. Batwoman's awesome.
See, I'm not loving the show itself, but I do like that they brought they're getting some of the villains. Like Hush has been a part of it now, and I don't know.
And they gave Hush an origin story.
Yes,
that was cool.
He's always had sort of an origin story.
I'm not super familiar with Hush. I think Hush is one of the newer characters after I stopped reading Batman.
Okay, he had that is his the origin story is there. There's actually the Batman comic Hush that brings that whole thing about,
including
and
Alice?
Hush actually played a part in the Arkham, which one of the Batman, the second one, the second Batman game.
Yeah, but is his origin also involve Alice?
Not Alice, no.
Okay.
His origin is that of I can't remember the guy's name now.
It's Eddie something.
Yeah, he was a friend of a childhood
Bruce.
friend of Bruce Wayne's,
right?
Who basically that's why he's all bandaged up, is because he's getting he wants to get his face. He basically gets cosmetic surgery to look like Bruce Wayne.
To Bruce Wayne, okay. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the Superman and Lois show. I think Tyler Hoechlin, I think he makes a great Superman.
Absolutely,
great television Superman. I'm not, and I say that distinction because I don't think Tyler Hoechlin would be a good big screen Superman, but I think he makes a great small screen Superman.
He does. Yeah, I agree with you. He makes a great small screen Superman, and there will be some holdover from Supergirl will obviously not be returning until Melissa Benoist returns from her maternity leave.
True.
So
right.
There's going to be some, we've seen that even in the episode. She's much less involved in the stories in Supergirl lately.
Well, also, if you notice that Frost and Kate have been on the sideline in Flash because she's pregnant.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. So that's the crossover, just going back to that. It's not going to happen until next year, which obviously makes sense if the shows aren't even coming back till next year, but much smaller scale. And I think it kind of makes sense to do a crossover with the 2 newest shows. It just gets, I don't know, it just reinforces them better in that new Arrowverse, because really, what's the Arrowverse now? It's the Flash
Arrowverse with no Arrow.
Right, it's Arrowverse with no Arrow. So it's Flash, Legends, Batwoman, and Superman. Right?
Yeah.
And that's it. So it makes sense to do a crossover with just Batwoman and Superman to get a little bit more into their characters, and it really does pull in that world's finest vibe, which I like.
That's true, and it can be done. It can be done well. It is worth exploring those 2 worlds and bringing those things out. And again, you can focus more on the story between those 2 series as opposed to having to figure out how do we figure out how to get the Legends in there, and how do we figure out how this makes sense on this this side. And
we know the Canaries are going to be in the future, so it's not like you can bring them in.
Yeah.
I will tell you, you said earlier you're not a fan of Batwoman. I love Batwoman. I love the character, and I'm really enjoying the show. But I will say one thing that I've had enough of, to be honest, is Alice. It's like, enough, just move on.
Yeah,
You know?
I get it. They've got their main villain and everything like that, and you've got your little side villains, but it just seems, I don't know. It
It's
seems
way
like
too drawn out.
They're trying to make the Joker Batman comparisons with Alice and Batwoman, and they're trying to basically make those two are
that's
tied.
that's who she is. That is Alice is Batwoman's Joker.
Yeah,
But if you look at the comics, Alice isn't in every freaking episode.
yeah, and
Right?
and that's the problem is the Joker he's a great, bring him out every 5 or 6. Like even the games, they didn't have the Jokers in all of them, but he was not the main foil
Right.
in parts of it. It's like you get those other tastes of other villains.
Yes. We need more of that. We need more
Gotham.
It needs more Gotham, more villain of the week rather than the foil the plot schemes of Mouse and Alice. Like enough with the Mouse and Alice, leave for a while and become a recurring character.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like
Give Batwoman a decisive victory over her, and they go off to lick their wounds, and some other villain comes in and takes their place for a couple of episodes or whatever it is, or at least like give somebody a time to like show somebody off and say, hey, here's another villain.
Yeah.
That's going to be a problem, like what they did in Gotham, where like, hey, that's going to be Enigma, that's going to be the Riddler.
Yes, exactly.
Oh wow, like that guy, that happened to that guy. He's going to be Solomon Grundy. That's like these realizations of who these characters are going to become.
Are going to be, and watch their arc throughout the season as they become the villain.
Like one of the greatest things that we saw in Gotham was Penguin.
Oh yeah,
coming as a foot soldier to crime lord.
To crime lord, exactly. It was such a beautiful transformation.
Yeah, but he was not the guy every single episode. We had the Court of Owls. We had all sorts of, and that's why I really enjoyed Gotham, is because it was done so well, and they gave interesting arcs to minor character like Zaz and stuff like that.
Right.
And that's why I love the game so much, is that you have the Rogues Gallery. That's what it really is. The Rogues Gallery. Batman has the Rogues Gallery. Batwoman should have something similar, not just the Batwoman and Alice show. Right.
Exactly. And that's what it's become. Half the story is about Batwoman and Kate. The other half is about Mouse and Alice.
Yeah. I'm glad Hush is in there, because he is a significant villain in the Batman universe, and hopefully they can get rid of Alice and Mouse for a little while and have Hush take over and somebody else maybe.
And Alice, I mean, I will say the last episode or so, I think maybe 2 episodes, Alice has been talking about leaving for a while. And I'm hoping that's what they're setting up, is Alice will be a season 1 character, period. Yeah. And I'm really hoping come season 2, Alice becomes like a recurring role once or twice a season type thing.
Where, you have another big villain, and, you get your 3-episode arc, and you find out at the end of the arc that Alice was the one who orchestrated that, Killer Croc coming to town or something like that, or whatever it might be.
Yeah. Anyway, we are well at our time. One more thing I want to talk about, which is very exciting. CBS has announced that the original crew of the Enterprise will actually be returning. So this is the crew we saw in Discovery Season 2 with Captain Pike, Spock, and their original number 1. They are returning in their own show called Star Trek Strange New Worlds. So we're going to be seeing the adventures of Captain Pike and the Enterprise with his first officer Spock. His science officer Spock, his first officer number 1, who I don't even know her name. But that's pretty cool, because they were great characters in Season 2 Discovery. So they're getting their own show, which a lot of people wanted. This is a really exciting time to be a Star Trek fan. There are 5 Star Trek shows now on CBS. We've got Star Trek Discovery, we've got Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Star Trek The Lower Decks, or maybe there's only 4 then. They said 5 in the article.
Well, I think Short Treks they're counting.
Oh, Short Treks. Yes, sorry, thank you. That's the one. Short Treks, which are also fantastic. Like little 10 to 12 minute shorts, which are really well done. What I like about Short Treks is they can tell any story they want in any time frame, in any Star Trek world. It's really cool. they don't have to be attached to the actual shows themselves. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, new Star Trek show coming. 5 Star Trek shows on CBS. That's exciting time to be a Star Trek fan.
Who would have thought that little show from a number of years back that spawned a few other shows and a couple of movies would be back on TV at this point?
5 show, there were 4 Star Trek shows, one after the other.
Yeah.
But now there's 5 all at once.
Plus, if we count the Orville as part of this universe,
which it's not. So
it's a parody universe. It's a parody universe.
It's not even a parody.
It exists. It exists because Star Trek existed.
Yes, but it's not a parody. It's an homage.
Well,
it's not a parody.
You're not a parody.
No, you're right. I'm not. But I am going to end the show.
All right, fine. End the show. Be that way.
I, of course, am Sean Evans, otherwise known as Ziantane. You can follow me everywhere. That's XIANTAYNE, and you can follow the show on Twitter at the OMG Hour.
And I am on the Twitters at what am I? At Mr. Second Place. That's what I'm at.
Oh my gosh, you don't even know who you are.
I forgot how to read.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week.
Bye, guys.
Hi. We're still here. Are you still here?
I'm here because I want people to press the button down there.
Click the button and check out those videos over there. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you.
I do, at least.
Well,